Jordi Fernández, our head coach, as you guys know, is going to kick us off this morning. Welcome, Jordi.
Thanks for having me and thanks for taking the time. The number one priority for me on the court is to have a plan in place to build a team with a soul. I care about creating winning habits, and you guys know how it feels when you're in a winning environment. Right now, our job is to figure out who's going to be the next step. You guys asked me, I think pretty much all of you, is like, if we go and scout what type of player we're scouting, we want good dudes here. The players that are always in winning teams, they're the reason why. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And for me as a head coach, that's what intrigues me the most.
I want to be part of that.
The earthquake that happened at 10:01 Eastern Time Tuesday night.
The ultimate pick package comes back to the Brooklyn Nets.
The Knicks just traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
I think GM Sean Marks is up to something big.
They absolutely crushed it. Also, the trade later with the Rockets to regain the control of their future was also big.
That was the thing. It's an A+ deal for them.
But the Nets have a clear direction now, and they are loaded going forward with draft assets.
It was honestly pretty amazing, the turnaround that we've seen, the way that they were able to flip it from Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving to now, having this treasure trove of picks and having a really promising future ahead, not just this year, but in future years. I think it set them off in a really positive direction.
I do know BJ and the rest of our college scouts are extremely excited about the opportunity that they have in front of them. So the flexibility for us is pretty exciting and intriguing moving forward.
I'm BJ Johnson. I'm the assistant general manager here at the Brooklyn Nets. Originally from Greensboro, North Carolina. Went to Villanova University, very proud Wildcat. And after my graduating in 2002, spent about 12 years at USA Basketball. And then from there, jumped after the 2016 Rio Olympics and came to Brooklyn. We are in a unique situation as an organization. We've had the chance to compete at a really, really high level, and we're toe nail away from a championship potentially, and now we're on the backside of that, and now we can rebuild. And we can rebuild in a way that, highlights Brooklyn and our culture and our organization and the city. That always set the foundation for us, just understanding what the people of Brooklyn are all about.
The Brooklyn Nets becoming an organization that wins and sustains winning, and it's an example for others, and people has respect. To me, that's the most important thing. Respect for what we do. It's pretty cool. And it's not about me or Sean, our best player. It's about what we're doing together.
We have 4 first-round picks, which I am excited, elated about.
This next month and a half is huge for us, I think, because when I go to a practice, I'm obviously watching the players, but I'm also watching the coach.
This year is critical for us. Can't say it any other way. To get this draft right and to really nail it, not only for the talent level that's in this draft, but the type of people that we really want.
If he misses his first or second shot, he's not even looking to shoot.
We don't look at it as just a one-time thing. This has set us up for the next 5-10 years of our organization. So to me personally, we get these next 3 years right, we're in a really good position, and I'm really, really excited about that.
The Nets are really in tremendous position now. Look at the 2025 draft, which is loaded. There is real star power.
This draft's widely considered one of the better drafts in the last 10 years or so.
Man, can you get a good player with the 2025 first-round pick?
This year's drafts are going to have foundational players at the top, but also the depth of the draft and the versatility of the players in the draft gives us a lot of excitement that we're going to find, a lot of good players for us to move forward with. The draft is so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. Picks get traded, players get traded, situations change constantly. So you have to approach the draft the exact same way. gathering all the intel, being able to understand, who a player is, who he is for your organization. And, a case study for us was this past year's draft where we didn't have a pick.
Welcome to Brooklyn, where we are on the precipice of ushering a new class of players into the NBA. This year's draft is chock full of diamonds in the rough. It feels like a night where almost anything can happen.
This past year's draft, there were so many scenarios where we could have easily gotten into the draft, and if we didn't have the preparation or the information that we needed on the players, we would not have been prepared. So uncovering everything, debating everything, all the attention to detail that's needed, you have to have that done because, anything can happen at any time in the draft, and you never want to be caught in the position of being on your heels or saying, I don't know, because it's not acceptable for us.
Knowing everything humanly possible about a player is so important, and that's why NBA teams, they're not just basketball scouts, they're also detectives at the same time. They do a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that they know everything about these players as human beings, and they want to know, is this a person that I want to invest in? Is this someone that I want to have in my locker room? Is this someone that I want as the face of my franchise? And so you have to make sure that you can trust this person.
So post-draft night, we're kind of, launched right into the 2025 prep right away. We're sending our scouts out to all the grassroots events, collecting all that information, and then setting our list for this year. Start putting guys in different tiers to see, who are our priority teams, which teams have the most prospects, who are the highest level prospects that we need to pay attention to. This is going to be a different year. We got a lot of guys to get through. Our range is crazy. We could have a pick in every single section of the first round, as well as a couple early and mid-second round picks. So we got to cover everybody and be prepared and know, what we're doing at each junction of the draft. This time of year, we'll have our scouting meetings, which we're really excited about. We have an unbelievable group of scouts that have so many experiences, that played overseas and coached, and a wide variety of backgrounds for them. So we're using all those relationships. Whoever they have the strongest relationships with, we're asking them to tap into those and get the information that not a lot of people can get. So really tapping into those, getting our focus lists, and then from there we set our practice schedules and we're out and running.
So here's what we're gonna do. In that board over there says disagree and commit, okay? So the challenge I have for this group is this group better be the loudest scouting group I've ever seen. We are to disagree and we are committed. Let's have that debate.
Sean is, of course, leading the charge for all of us. Andy Birdsong kind of handles more of the pro and performance side of it. I'm pretty focused on the amateur scouting and getting the draft right. That's my main responsibility. So working with me are scouts that are based in the different regions. So we have 6 scouts that are kind of all over the country. We have a strong group of international scouts based in Italy and Germany and other places, throughout there as well. And we're all working together, trying to collect all this information, debate it, sort through it.
Roster construction wise, like you get to a playoff situation, all of a sudden guys that can't shoot, but they have some type of skill in which it can be exploited. That's just another lens in which, you make sure that as you're watching guys, I think for me it's highly, highly important.
This guy has 82 game value and this guy has 16 game value, and understanding the difference, in the two. And I'd rather, at the end of the day, the 16 game value is going to be way more important. But again, that's how we have these kind of discussions, so that we can have all this stuff out on the table. Because it might be a thought that's a really valid thought that now we're all looking at the same thing and talking the same language.
A player that's known to be a big time player, but you talk to the coach, he says he's not a practice player, he doesn't like to practice. Where does that catch up with you on our level?
I think it always does, at some point. To me, for the majority of the time, the guys don't have good habits. It's something to really note, because I think it always catches up to guys at some point.
I think you got to spend time. You gotta see what really motivates him. Because his whole life, this kid's gonna be the man. So I think he somewhere along the line he was hungry throughout his life, and he had to. And I think trying to find that place is very hard. Your point is just understanding their story. How does a guy obtain his grit? Has he been through something hard in life that he's had to overcome? Has he shown these qualities all along? Understanding all those kind of things there, again, gives us a window into the player's soul. And that's what we're trying to figure out, those guys that can be thrown in this environment and be able to survive and thrive
as opposed to a guy that's going to be like, man, you know, all the pressure that he got to him, he wasn't ready for it. I can understand that now because of these kind of behaviors along the way. It makes sense.
When you're assigned to a game,
We're a really collaborative group. We're using all these different communication points, and Sean is pretty much connected on all those. He might have a question himself or share his own thoughts.
If we have the right intel, we feel pretty sure about this is who this person is, then we can give our coaches, here's the trajectory. Here's how you use him. Here's how you get to him.
His communication sets the tone because he's very collaborative as well. He's actively, you know, involved in all the scouting process. So he's out there scouting right now. He just came back from, you know, Australia.
Richard, Midgie and I find ourselves in the Gold Coast searching for untapped diamonds in the rough. Fish and chips, meat pies, whale watching, shitty weather, all part of this expedition that we're on. Richard, anything stood out to you so far?
I think you covered everything. I don't want to add.
Here in Australia, you're looking at a diverse group. Several Australians are going to be here. There's Europeans down here. There's Americans from high school have come down here. 5, 6, 7 draft eligible players that will really fall into our range. So I think it's important to get in here early and see guys.
I think going into a year, you have an expectation of who the prospects are, and then every year there'll be someone that pops up.
Video scouting is one thing, but seeing physically how they move and what they do, which would potentially be off camera, I think that's important. But we're going to rely on a network of scouts, consultants, and relationships just to gather the intel on what makes these guys tick.
It's not only seeing the prospects, but seeing the level of competition they're playing against. It really helps your evaluations.
None of these guys are polished at this particular point. You know, there's a huge development piece and development plan that needs to be put in place. There are certain things that will stand out, and you'll see a couple of these guys come up with an NBA move, and then you go, okay, that's something I see in our league. How do we grow that? What else can they do?
Just spending some time away from the office is always good to build kind of a good trusting relationship, so where I can challenge his opinion or he challenged mine.
Honestly, not much different, but he had more shooting touch than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's something there with that.
I'm not sure how he even that translates to.
Yeah, for sure.
Translates to our level or not.
We know that if Sean's out there doing the same thing that we're doing, it kind of gives us more confidence and more encouragement to continue to fight and press on.
This year, there's just so much unknown with potentially 6 draft picks. So to know all ends of the draft, throughout the draft, is going to be paramount to us. I think you treat this draft like any other, of utmost importance, and it's going to come in a hurry. War Room this year is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. So it's a little bit uncharted territory. It's something we embrace, and you know, we know exactly what's at stake, and we've got to get it right.